listening to an audio article by the Common Constitutionalist. Today's article is entitled, MS-13 is back in the news and it's all Trump's fault. The savage immigrant gang MS-13 is back in the news. I guess they are always in the news, as these animals, hat-tip President Trump, never take a break. Let's just say they're back in the national news. CNN's Sunday website homepage featured no less than 5 stories about the gang. The gang made the national headlines once again due to a high-profile murder that occurred less than 2 weeks ago. We may remember a 16-year-old girl and her friend were viciously attacked and murdered on Long Island on September 13, 2016. You may also recall that the 16-year-old victim's mother, Evelyn Rodriguez, was recognized by President Trump during his State of the Union address. On Friday, September 14, Ms. Rodriguez was struck and killed by an SUV. The driver of the vehicle had been arguing with Evelyn when he just sped forward, struck, and killed her. Congressman Peter King, Republican of New York, was on his way to meet Evelyn at her daughter's gravesite when he got the word of the murder. And that should be the end of it, a tragic occurrence. Police have the driver in custody and have yet to disclose his ties to MS-13, if any. But of course, this is not the end. Now, according to CNN's own reporting, MS-13 began to expand rapidly in 2015. And what was happening in 2015 to stimulate such growth? The Obama open borders policies of Dreamers, DACA, unaccompanied minors, catch and release, and look the other way. No correlation to these events, and the gang's expansion is even hinted to. Suffolk County, New York District Attorney Timothy Sini explained to CNN that in Suffolk County there is a large population of immigrants from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. He did not specify how many of this large population were here illegally. By state decree, he is not allowed to do so or even ask. CNN goes on to report that since 2014, the U.S. government has placed more than 9,000, quote, unaccompanied minors, unaccompanied children, and teenagers who have crossed into the U.S. without parents or guardians, unquote, on Long Island alone. But again, for CNN, 1 plus 1 does not equal 2. And we wonder why MS-13 is such a problem on Long Island. Really, we don't. We know that expansion of MS-13 in the United States is a product directly linked to the Obama-era free-for-all immigration policy. These children, many of whom are teenage males, are either MS-13 members who crossed under false pretenses or are recruited once they're here. Yet CNN still continues to somehow, some way blame Trump. The CNN interviewer attempted to coax from Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder an admission that Trump immigration policies and rhetoric about MS-13 were exacerbating the situation, that his, quote, community is being used as a political pawn, unquote. He didn't take the bait. And yet, in another front-page report, CNN attempts to blame Trump for strengthening MS-13. They insist that it's the fault of Trump for ending the Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, program for immigrants from Central American nations. CNN neglects to mention that none of the ending TPS programs will actually end until at earliest mid-2019, but it's still Trump's fault. For those unfamiliar, TPS is a program established in 1990 by Congress and the kinder, gentler George H.W. Bush administration. It, quote, provides temporary legal status for periods up to 18 months to migrants from countries that have suffered natural disasters, protracted unrest, or conflict, unquote. And that's amusing in that statistics indicate that many TPS recipients have been here for 15 years or more. It just goes to show you how temporary a temporary government program is. Somehow ending what was to be a temporary relief program is a threat to national security and, of course, the children. Leftist hack Democrat Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey hyperbolically stated that the Trump administration is, quote, knowingly putting our national security and the safety of TPS beneficiaries and U.S. citizen children at risk, unquote. Yet not once does CNN even hint that the Obama policies of mass immigration from Mexico, Central and South America could possibly be the cause of the escalation of gangs, drugs, and violence. No, it's all and only Trump's fault. Thank you for listening.